Computer. So, what are we going to be talking about today? We are going to talk about regular expressions. Now, regular expressions, personally, it's one of my favorite topics about the Linux operating system and Unix operating systems in general. And it's more like a continuation talk about the sed and the awk commands that we had last week. We are simply going to see how can we use those two commands, and also we're going to introduce a new command to them today. How can we use those commands to search for text inside text file or files? Now, this is a very, very important tool when it comes to the usage of operating system, because again, you can think about a folder full of text files, an operating system, a whole operating system full of text files, and you're simply searching for a certain piece of information that you simply don't know where it is. It could be in any of the files that you have in your operating system. So how do I search and how do I extract those pieces of information from the operating system and all the text files or non-text files that I have in my system? So today we're going to see how can we get the job done. Basically, what I would like to start with, it's not just simply searching for a certain word or words. We can use something called regular expressions in our process of searching. And this is what the title of this class is all about, regular expressions. So simply we'll see that we have like an endless possibility of tools that we can shape and put together to search for whatever you can think about and what can you imagine. Okay, so we'll talk about them all today, and we'll have an idea about how do they work. And at the end of this chapter, there are like 2 videos or 3 videos on YouTube posted in the Canvas course page. I would like every one of you to go and check those videos because they are some real life applications of regular expressions. They're explained in a YouTube video. You should go and have a look at them and understand how can we apply whatever we're going to learn today on a real life applications. Now, before we do anything, we have to understand that regular expressions basically are 2 categories. We have the basic regular expressions and we have the extended regular expressions. Now, for the basic regular expressions, we're going to see what they are. And you're going to find out that sed and awk could be used with the basic regular expressions. In addition to that, we have grep and egrep, which is what we're going to be focusing on today, are also available, and we can utilize them and use them with the basic regular expressions. And then for the extended regular expressions, only the awk and the egrep could be used for the extended regular expressions. So if I want to just summarize what I said, awk and egrep could be used for all type of regular expressions, basic and extended, but sed can only be used for the basic regular expressions. And I'm going to demonstrate and show you some examples of how do we use all of these commands. And then after that, we will just stick with the egrep for most of today's lecture. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Let's say we have a text file and we want to search for a word in that text file. And we're not going to call it a word. We're going to look for a pattern. Okay, just again, a sequence of characters. Now, for that purpose, I simply created a file that doesn't make any sense called regular expressions. And the file just contained those words that you see here. That, as I said again, doesn't make any sense. I was like, let me put some text here. And the text that I'm going to put here is going to help me to demonstrate regular expressions here. Okay, so you could have access to that file. You can view it from your end if you want to, but here it is. If you want, just pause the video if you're watching it on later and just have a look at it. Okay, so this is the file that I have. Let's start with searching for a word that is repeated in this file. And I'm going to show you how do we search for a word using the 3 different tools that we have today. So let's start with sed. Sed, and then you so a single quotation, and you start with backslash Python. That's the word that I'm searching for, and I close it here. And then after that, you tell me what's the file, which is regular expression text. Now, we need to put something here, add something to it. First of all, we have to put P here, so it's going to be simply printing the lines that has the word Python. And if I come here and put -n, only the words that has the word Python is going to be printed one time. Again, remember, without the -n is going to be printing all the file, and it's simply going to printing those that contains the Python, but simply I just want the Python. So it's going to put the -n. And if you press enter, and you can see here, all the lines that contains the word Python are simply printed here. Now, pay attention. This is, again, how sed work. Now, Oak, in the other hand, work in a little bit different way. All you have to do, tell me what's the word that you're going to be searching for. Python. And then after that, and you guys remember here, we open a curly brace and we close it, and we say print $0, which simply means search for the whole file and look for the word Python. And whenever you find the word Python or the pattern Python in a line, print that line. And you would notice I get the exact same results. So this is how those two simply works. Now, remember here, we didn't talk about how do we search. Last class, we were just simply talking about how do we substitute, delete, look, searching for substitute characters, and so on. Today, we're just going to focus on the search feature of these two commands. Okay, so here we go. I was able to search for the word Python in both of these for the file using sed and oak or goak. Now let's see how egrep work. And let me clear. I'm going to keep it here because I want to show you how egrep looks like. Egrep, pay attention. Python, and then reg expression.
Professor, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's an I type something like that. Say no source file or directory. Person making a directory, file make it.
Can you repeat that question? I didn't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's I type same thing like that as that's in.
You don't see what
I'm.
Of course, you need to have the file in your side. So if
Yeah,
you can
person
navigate to
BAM.
my folder.
Yeah, doesn't look like, but you already you created, right? You already
Yeah, it's
created that
there. It's
file.
in my folder.
Oh, okay. So go on a BAMs or different command.
Navigate by changing get out of your folder home directory and navigate to my home directory inside the faculty. You should find the file there. And again, I am not sure if we can manipulate the file at the same time. So what I would suggest, you can copy it from my end and put it in your folder.
Yeah, personal house go there. So just in the alias and then start it, or
Well, I don't know about the structure of the folders that you're looking at, so it's going to be really hard for me. But I can tell you that my file folder, my home directory, is inside home, faculty, and you'll find AAL Janab there. When you get there, you should find the file reg expression .txt.
yeah.
Again,
But
once you find the file, copy it, CP, and you put the name of the file, and then you put where you want to copy it to, and you have to put your home directory.
yeah, I tried, but not.
I'll help you after I'm done.
Okay.
Because I have to share, I need to see your screen so I can tell you what to type. So we'll get that done after I'm done. If that's okay.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. So first of all, let's get back here. I want you to pay attention how the syntax is a lot simpler comparing to the first two syntaxes. So let's put it that way. And when I'm going to press enter, look what's going to happen. Now, as you can see here, I got the same exact results, but you can see that the word Python that I'm searching for actually is a little bit bold, and also I think it's bold, and also the color change. So that simply will bring your attention to the outcome of that file. So those are, again, some features that grep will provide you with. Not only is it going to search for the word, but also is going to highlight the word that you're looking for. So again, it's going to be a lot easier to find the word that you're searching for in the outcomes that are coming from that file. So that would be one feature that egrep provides you with. Another feature, look what I can do. I can take the text out and put an asterisk. And when you do that, not only is going to search for the word Python in the regular expression text file that I have, it's actually going to search for all the files in the current directory. So if I press enter, well, the problem is here is that only this text file has the word Python. But look what I'm going to do. Let me just go ls, and I'm going to go to one of my files here. Let's go with test file. So nano test file. And the word Python doesn't exist here, but I'm just going to come at this point here and add the word Python. And I'm going to go down here and add the word Python. And let's get out of here. Save it. Yes. And now let me repeat what I just did. And you can see here that he showed me that those are the regular expressions. And he also found Python here. Well, I think I typed Python 2 times. Let me go back and see why he didn't find the other. Oh, yep, because it's missing an N. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix that. Python. And let's get out of here. Get out of here. Save our work. And let's go ahead and run it again. And here it is. So look how this grep command will work. Not only is going to show you the pattern Python in the files, it's also going to tell you for each file where how the Python was actually presented in that file. So all the lines that contain the word Python is actually printed, and it's going to tell you which file contained that line of Python. So this is, again, the simplest way of searching for a text inside a text file or text files. And remember here, searching for all the files in a directory only will work with the grep or egrep. So that's something you have to understand. And we are going to cover the basic regular expressions, and then we're going to move on to the extended one. So let's move on to the second choice that we have. The second choice is we can search for lines or for words, sorry, in a text file. And we can specify that we are searching for lines that contain specific group of characters at the beginning of the line. So it's very, very important to specify that. So I'm going to show you how do we do that. Remember, let's start with sed -n. And then after that, space, single colons, and you put your backslashes. And here's what you do. For example, I want to search for the word Python, but I want it to be the first word in the line. So this is how we search for the first word in the line. You put P here, and we go again, regular expressions. And look what's going to happen here. Oh, we don't have Python. Oh, I misspelled Python. Let me fix that. And here we go. So you can see that two of the lines in that text file started with Python. I can get the same job done with the oak command. And again, just like how we did, Python, and then print $0, and then regular expressions. You can see it got the same exact results. And now, by the way, after this command, I'm not going to go and show you how sed and oak work. I'm just going to simply focus on the egrep. So egrep, very simple. Again, Python, and then after that, the file itself. And you can see here, it's giving me the same results. So I can search for the lines that simply contain the word that I'm looking for, but not only the word, it has to be at the beginning of the line. So that's an option that you have. All you have to do here today is to understand all these tools and how they work and keep them in your background. And later, when you're going to be giving any piece of problem, if you know your tools, you'll be able to put them to solve the problem that you're facing and the problem that you're having. Now, just like how we were able to search for lines that start with a word, we can do the same thing and search for lines that ends with a word. And to do so, I'm just going to go up and show you that a very simple change we can apply to the command itself. We take the simple here and we just put the $sign here. So this is going to search for the lines that ends with Python. Let's see if we have any of them. Well, actually, we don't have any of them. So let's go back to regular expressions here. And I can see the word love is repeated at the end of 2 lines. So let's go ahead and change Python with love. And you can see here, we got love and love. Clear. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with the oak. So we go here, love again. But again, let's put a $sign here and take this one away. Now, before I take it away, I want you to think about this. What if you have the command in this way? This simply is going to search for all the lines that only contain the word love. So just the word love in the whole line. Let's go ahead and take that out and print it again. And you will see that I got the same thing again. Now, if I go and do the egrep, you will notice that I will simply get the same exact result. But again, the beautiful part of egrep is simply the fact that it's going to change the color. So it's going to be easier for your eye to detect and to find out the changes that were applied. That's again, let's go ahead and I'm going to try to apply this to something a little bit more. Let's see if I can find all the lines that end with the word and in the whole. Oh, look at this. A lot of lines in the text files that I have here ended with the word and. Okay. Now I want you to think about this, the beauty of how fast it was able to get this done. And I can tell you, like, I remember when I was studying Linux, I decided, let me do a comparison and see how Windows will get the job done. And there was no comparison of how fast Linux was comparing to how Windows was able to get the job done. Anyway, so let's get back to our system. Now, so we learned how do we search for certain words in lines in a text file. And we learned how do we search for lines that start with a word. And we learned how to search for a line that ends with a word. Now, let's go ahead and see if we can put all this into something useful. Now, as you can see here, if I go back and cat the file, for a reason, I actually had those spaces between those lines. So let's say I want to take those spaces away. Now, here's how we do that. And this is going to be done without the egrep, because the egrep, again, is only for searching. But here's what we know. I can use sed to get the job done. Now, remember, we have D to delete. So I'm going to put regular expressions here. And now tell me, what are you trying to delete? I'm simply going to try to delete lines that start with nothing and ends with nothing. So the beginning and the end, and there's nothing between the beginning and the end. That simply means a white space. Look what's going to happen if I run it. All the lines are going to be printed without the white space. Of course, now if I want to redirect it to the same file, it's going to override it, so I will have it without those spaces. But that's not what I'm going to do. I'm just going to simply keep it that way. Okay, now, let me just make sure I get this clear. If you have any questions at any time related to the topic that I'm talking about, please ask me. Please have no issues. If you have an issue with something like having access or changing anything, I will be more than happy to help you. But I just don't want to interrupt the class and get that fixed for now. Okay, so now we learned those 3 options or tools that we have. Let's move on and let's cover a very, very important other tools that are available as part of the basic regular expressions. And the first one we're going to talk about here is the dot. Dot simply means any character. Okay. And by any character, I simply means any character. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and show you. I'm not going to use the set and E, the G oak anymore. I'm just going to focus on E grip. Let's say we want to search for lines that contain 6, 4, and then after that, there are 2 anything, character, digits, no matter what it is, and then after that ends with 3. Okay, so those 2 dots, each one of them individually means it could be anything. Now, if I press enter, you would notice that this is 6, 4, end with 3, and there's 2 dots. The 2 dots that I had here are simply 1, 1, and there's 5, 0, 5, and there's 1, 2. Let's go ahead and do it again. E grip, anything that has I followed by a dot, and then after that, followed by an A. Okay? And look what's going to happen. It's showing me Iraq, again, R here, the dot simply represent R again, represent T here in this case. And the I and the A, I just simply type them. So dot by itself, if you want to search for a word, and then part of the word, it's a character that you really don't know what it is, or you don't care about what it is. You want to search for all the lines that contain that pattern, character I, anything, character A, then use a dot. Okay, let's go ahead and do one more thing. I'm going to search for, let's go back here. Oops. For some reason, I can't clear. Oops. Come on. Let's see here. Okay. I can actually type. Oh, my bad. For some reason, I was disconnected from the server. Okay. Broken pipe. Let's try to connect again. Come on. Let's see. I'm still connected to the VPN. But I'm disconnected from the server. Okay. Lovely. Let me make sure that I'm actually still connected to you guys. Uh-oh. Stop sharing. Can you guys hear me?
I can still hear you.
Okay, so I'm still connected to the internet. That's good. You cannot minimize Zoom when you are recording. Okay. Let me go back to my terminal and let me close it. And let me try again. Not letting me do it. Oh God. This is not good. Let me share my screen so you guys see what's going on in my side. So this is my terminal, and this is me trying to get connected to the server. And after I type this command, press enter, I'm getting nothing here.
Yeah, you go in the it's a small red in right there. Just on log out first and then restart it. That work.
The VPN?
Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to avoid that, to be honest, but
Oh, that one, yes. That's terminal, yeah.
okay, I'm gonna try to disconnect from the VPN and get connected again. And here we go. So now let's connect again. Sorry for this interrupt.
No problem. We understand it.
JCC. Okay. Let's see. Accept. And I am connected again. Let's try again. Yes, it worked. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let me go
Yeah,
back.
same problem. I did that one.
Okay. Let me go back to, can you guys see the terminal now? I believe so.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
let's go back here. What was the last command I typed? Oh no, what is this? Yes, we were trying to search using the dot. Yes. So if I go cat, regular expressions, let me see if I can look for NAK or OD. Okay. Anything. Let's go ahead and try that. grep. And I will search. You know what? Let me just go and search for the test file. Cat test file. Yep, let me search this one. grep. And I'm going to search for anything that has 2 characters and end with the letter D. Okay? And there's a space. So space, 2 characters and D inside the test file, text file. And here we are. So here it is. So you can see here I got I got I got under, 2 characters and with a D, and there's a space, and there's and again here, or here's D with HY, and here it is. This is DBO and clear. Let's go ahead and clear that. So let's go ahead and refresh. We learned now about the dot character, which again simply represents any character. Now, it gets a little bit confusing because we will have a lot of those special characters that we can use with regular expressions. So it's very, very important that you understand how each one of them works, and that will again make it easier for you. So let's go ahead and keep going with some examples. grep. I'm going to go with any character followed by N. Okay. And that will just say again, regular expressions. And here it is on Python, snake, ing, language, and so on. So here it is. This is again how you search for specific, like again, if you have a dot, simply means that dot represents any character you can search for. Now let's move on to another tool that we have, which is what we call character classes. Now, character classes simply means I can put a group of characters and tell the grep to search for any lines that contain any character within that group. So remember here, dot could be any character, but whatever I'm going to show you here, you can specify a group of characters instead of keeping it like open and like that. So here's how it works. grep. And you open the single brace, and let's go with regular expressions here. And let's get here. I want to search, and let's just put it this way, for any line that contains the character A, B, or C, followed by, let's say, M. So AM, BM, CM, any of these. If there's any line that contains any of these 2 combinations, show it. And here it is. AM, AM, AM again. Okay. Let me try to do something different. I'm going to go and say I followed by R and followed by N, and just keep it that way. So any I, uppercase I, that could be followed by R and could be followed by N. And you can see here, this IR, this IR, this IN, this IR, and this IN again here. So this is again how this character classes simply work. I'll show you some options here that we have that we can apply here. I can search, and let me just show you that, for, and I'm going to use the zip codes here, any line that has the character 6, followed by the character 4, and then followed by any character, for example, from 0 to 9. Okay, so that's a single character, and any character that is between 0 and 9, and that's the third character, 0 and 9. Simply means this is going to show me all these numbers that you have up there. If I press enter, you can see all of them are highlighted. Now, of course, if I want to exclude some here, for example, I don't want the second one to go from 0 to 9. I will make it 0 to 5, for example. So let's see if we have 0, anything that is 1, 0, 1, 4, 4, 4, 4. Well, all of them are going to be included in this case. Let me reduce that to 1 and 0 to 2. So let's see here. Oh, that's not going to work because all of them has lower numbers. I'll keep the first one here as high as possible. For the second one, we have 5, we have 7. So I'm going to come here and put it all the way to 4 only. And for the last one, I will just keep it from 0 to 5. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to search for any word in any line that has 6, 0, followed by any digit from 0 to 9, followed by any digit from 0 to 4, followed by any digit from 0 to 5. And let's press enter, and here it is. So this is 6, 4, 0 to 9, 0 to 4 covered, and 0 to 5 covered. Again, 1 is okay, 0 is okay, and 2 is okay. Look at this. This one is not okay. Why? Because the first one is okay. 0 to 9 here is acceptable. This is acceptable, but this is 9 when we said 0 to 5. This 5 here is the reason why this one is not highlighted, because we said 0 to 4 here. And this is 7 and 9, so both of them simply are not going to fall under this case. Let me just continue and show you more options we have with those class characters. Just like how I can search for numbers by just specifying the range of the numbers. And by the way, I can do the following if it's also going to have the same effect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This again is simply equivalent to 0 to 9. 0 to 9. Very, very important to pay attention to this hyphen here. And this will show me all the numbers, of course. Now, just like how I can apply the same thing with numbers, I can apply the same thing with the characters. So I can come here and I'm going to take all this away. And I will say, show me all the lines that starts with uppercase. Sorry, not all the lines that start, that any line that contain uppercases. Okay. And here we go. So you can see here, Kansas and city has uppercases, and Italy has uppercases. But if you look here, no uppercases in all these lines that you see here until we got to Kansas City. This is where uppercases start to appear, and you can see them here. Okay. So that's again how those special characters. Of course, if you want, you can come here and just put all the alphabetic characters, but that doesn't make sense. Let me just make it a little bit different. I'm going to say look for all the words that has all the lines that contains words with uppercases, but the uppercases has to be between A and B and C. And you can see here the I is not included anymore, and the Kansas is not included, so only the city is actually shown here. So this is again the special characters that we have. Now we have something that is associated with those character classes, and the character class that we're going to, it's the tool that we're going to go, it's called the negating of the class character. So what is that supposed to mean? Now, you remember when I said search for, let's say, uppercase, and I will say Python. And we said this is simply going to search for all the lines that start with Python. Okay, but look what I can do. If I use a special character classes, and I will come here and put the same simple, and I will say A to Z, this is going to do the opposite. Simply means search for all the lines that doesn't contain uppercases. And if I press enter, well, actually, again, just because this one has uppercases, but just because this one is lowercases is actually selected as well. You can see only Kansas, K, and city, C, and the I's are not included in the search. So everything else is acceptable. Okay, so that's again a tool that we have. So just like how we can search for a group of characters, we can search for lines that doesn't contain that group of characters. Okay, and when I say doesn't contain, again, not necessarily that just because I said doesn't contain A and Z, that simply means if the whole line was uppercases, it simply is not going to be shown on the result. But just because we have a single character as a lowercases, it's simply going to be selected, it's going to be shown. Okay, so that's again a tool that we have here. And till this point, we're still talking about the basic regular expressions, which I am almost done with. Now, there is a very, very special group of character classes. We call them the special character classes. If you go to the PowerPoint file, and one of the slides actually show you a table of these special characters. And just to give you an idea here about those special characters, because I have it here somewhere, let me just have a look at it one sec. I'm going to show you an example of how those special, yeah, I'm going to go and show you how they work. E grep. And let's say we are only interested in showing, let's say, what do I'm going to be interested in showing? Digits. Up. Grep individual class name. What is going on here? Digit. Oh, digit, not digits. And here we go. So you can see here, only those lines that contain digits are simply going to be printed. Now, in addition to digits, we can look for lines that contain uppercases. So we'll go typing upper. Let's see here. We got lower. We got digit. We got blanks. Upper, yes. And you can see here, it's showing me the lines that contain the uppercases. What else do we have? We have spaces. Of course, all the lines that contain spaces. We have alphabetic. We have alphabetic numerical lines. We have lowers. Okay, so we have a group of these options. But again, it's a very, very special class character. And the syntax of it goes like double open square brackets, double close square brackets, colon, colon, and then you have 6 words that you can use here, and simply going to search for any lines that contain anything like that. One of the things that I like is the punctuation, but in my text, I don't think there's any punctuation. So let's go ahead and show you that. So we'll go with PUNCT. But I'm going to use a different file because I don't know if I have any. I do have some punctuations here. No. Yep, I can see it here. Oh, yes, yes, here. This comma here. And this colon here. And this colon here. That's where those are coming from. So I'll keep it that way. Those are, again, we have a name for this tools that we have here. We call them the special class characters. And again, they're very simple and very easy to utilize. Now, I'm going to move to the last piece of the basic regular expressions. And then after that, we're going to move on to the extended. Now, this one, I hope it's not going to give you any confusing, but I want you to pay attention to what I'm going to say at this point, so it will make it a little bit easier for you. The asterisk. Now, the asterisk simply means, and I want you to pay attention to this definition, it's going to look for the character that is before the asterisk, okay? When you're going to search in your egrep command. That character, if it appears 0 times or multiple times, it will be detected and it will be printed. Okay. Now remember here, the key here is 0 or more. 0 or more. So what is that supposed to mean? Let's go ahead, cat, regular expressions. And I'm going to use the last line here to demonstrate this asterisk character. And let's focus on this part here. You can see here that I got GK, GEK, GEEK, and G triple EK. Look what I'm going to type. I'm going to type E grip, open, and I'm going to put G asterisk K. Regular expressions. Now remember the definition here. The asterisk represent, oh, wait a minute, I have to put E here as well. Asterisk look at the character before itself and simply is going to search for the words that contain G, K, and E 0 time, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, all the way to the end. So look what's going to happen if I press enter. You can see all of them were found here. Let's go ahead and give it another try. I'm going to come here and search for, let's say, I, and then G, and I'll put asterisk. Okay. I, G, and asterisk, and press enter. Well, here it is. You see I here, and there is no G here, so that's considered yes. That's considered yes. It's considered yes all the way. This is the part that I was looking about. IGG here. There's an I here. Here's an IG again, and this I for another one. Okay. Let's go ahead and look for S's. And I'm going to put, for example, anything that starts with E, S, asterisk. So we got E. Again, there's no S here, so those all going to be detected, but I'm looking here. Those are E, E. Those are the S's that I'm looking for here, S's. So this is how the asterisk work. Now, I don't know when you would need something like that, but it's a tool that you have it, and you may find yourself in a need for it, some applications. Remember here, asterisk simply means whatever the character that you have before the asterisk, search for the whole entire file for all the lines that contain that character appeared 0 or multiple times. And at this point, I can tell that we are done with the basic regular expressions. And remember here, we can search for just words the way you want them to look like. We can search for lines that start with words. We can search for lines that end with words. We can search for lines that contain a word, and then in the middle of that word, maybe a character or two could be replaced with a dot, and the dot simply means any character that you can put there. We talked about the character classes, and we said that we can exclude the type of characters that we're searching for. And actually, let me just show you something here. E grip, before I forget, I can search for lines that contains upper cases and at the same time numbers. So if I go regular expressions, and you can see here, not only the upper cases are detected, also the numbers are detected as well. Okay, and if I come here and change this, for example, to 6, oh, wait a minute, you would notice that only, yeah, see, this is all detected, except the 9 is not detected here, and the 7 and the 9 are not detected here as well. Okay, so these are the character classes, and then we talked about the special character classes, and we talked about how do we search for lines that doesn't contain those range of characters, character classes. And then finally, we talked about the asterisk and how does it work. Let me just show you some examples also before we move on. Not only we can search, I can, for example, say search for any lines, for example, that has ABC followed by an asterisk. Okay, So look at what this is simple. I think this is going to give me everything in that file. Even the white spaces are simply printed here. Okay, so when you put A, B, C asterisk, so it simply means a zero or multiple appearance of A, a zero or multiple appearance of B, a zero or multiple appearance of C. What I would say here, it will make more sense if I put a character here. For example, I would say I, for example. Let's see what's going to happen. Again, you'll see that I got the A here, printed A here. The reason, oh, there's no I. Well, let's see if there's any I's here. No. Let me take this one away. Let me go back here. And instead of putting the I here, I'll put the I at the beginning. So simply a word starts with I, followed by A, B, C, zero or multiple times. And because the zero part specifically, you'll notice a lot of the I's are going to be printed by themselves. And it just happened here. We got two B's here, for example. And we have two B's here as well. And we got A here, A here. Okay, P is not included because we just said A and B and C. Okay, so let me stop at this point and let's move on to the extended regular expressions. And the extended regular expressions are, again, very limited, not that much comparing to the basics. We have the question mark, we have the plus, and we have the brackets, the curly brackets, and then we have the or pipe. And then after that, we are going to talk about grouping. So again, 5 or 6 different categories of extended. So let's start with the question mark. How is the question mark different than the asterisk? The question mark is different than the asterisk with one fact. The asterisk include a zero appearance of the characters or multiple characters. So 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 and so on. The question mark only 0 or 1. Okay, that's very, very important. So let me show you what do I mean by that. I'm going to come here, take this out, and let's get back to the first one. We said GEK, and we put an asterisk here. And if I press enter, you notice how all these were printed here. Now, this is 0 appearance, this is a single appearance, double appearance, and triple appearance for the letter E. Now, if I just come here and replace the asterisk with the question mark, you would notice only the first 2 letters are going to be highlighted. So 0 or 1. So that's the difference between the asterisk and the plus, the question mark. Okay? It's very, very simple, very, very easy. But sometimes it gets a little bit confusing. And now remember here, it's more like you have all these tools in your mind, and then you'll be given a problem. And then all you have to do, think about what tool I can use to get the job done. Okay, so that's the question mark. How about the plus? And again, this is where the confusing coming because they are very, very similar to each other. But if I just put them in rules, dot, any character, asterisk, 0 or multiple appearance of the character before the asterisk, question mark, 0 or 1 appearance of the character before the question mark. And now we're going to move on and talk about the plus. Now, the plus is different than both of them with the fact that it must be 1 appearance or more. Okay? 1 appearance or more. And that's the difference between the asterisk and the plus. Now, remember here, the asterisk we said 0 or more. The question mark we said 0 or once. The plus, once or more. 1 appearance or more. So let me just show you what do I mean by that. If I come here and take the question mark away and put a plus, you will notice that those 3 are going to be highlighted with red and this will not. And here we go. So this is the plus, this is the question mark, and this is the asterisk. And I'll tell you, like, it's just get a little bit confusing sometimes. The data, the information could be mixed up in your head. But again, if you just put it that way, it will be a lot easier. Just remember, asterisk 0 or more, question mark 0 or 1, plus 1 or more. Okay, so those are the first 2 tools that we have with extended regular expressions. And remember here, this is only going to work with the eGrip and it's only going to work with the oak command, the goak command. Now, we can also, now we're going to move on to using the curly brackets or the brackets themselves. We can do the following with the brackets. Brackets simply will allow you to specify how many times you want a single character to be repeated. Okay, so let me show you what do I mean by that. Let me take this away. I want to check if there's any word that contains the letter repeated 2 times. And you can see here, EE and EE. Now, if I come here and say 3 times, you would notice only this one is highlighted. So I could come here and say G. I could come here and say G, and I'll put K here, and I'll say E. So simply again, instead of typing E 3 times, I will type E, curly brackets, 3 times. Okay, so that's one option. Also, I can do this. Look for 1 to 3. And you will notice 1 is included, 2 is included, and 3 is included. So the comma simply means between 1 and 3. Okay. Let's see here. If I come here and say, look for S repeated 2 times. Let's see if we have any words. Oh, let me take the K away. And here we go. Those are S's that you see here. Okay. I can do the same thing here with the B, for example, because I do have 2 B's here. And actually, I can put E as well to include it in my work. You can see here, BB, and followed by E 2 times and E. So this is again how the curly bracket simply works. Remember here, you put a character and you tell me how many times that character simply appeared. You can put, I can do this. Look what I'm going to do here. I'm going to come here, take the BB away, and just put B and E. And I'll just say 2 times. And you can see here how the BB is highlighted, the BB here is highlighted, and the G, EE here are highlighted, and the EE here are highlighted as well. So this is again how the curly bracket simply works. Now, we have another way or another tool, sorry, available for us, which is the piping. Now, the piping simply means search for any of the words or the patterns that you can type. For example, by the way, there's a file that I posted where I summarized all these commands inside the canvas. That should help. I can search for Python, and I will pipe that, and I will say snake, and I will pipe that, and I will say city. So that simply will search for any lines that contain the word Python or snake or city or all of them. And here we go. Python, Python, snakes, Python, snake, Python, Python, and city. So that's the piping. Now, the piping by itself, it could be used with characters. Let me just show you that. If I go here and say, search for those characters, U, or search for Z, and search for V. Any of these characters, and you'll see here the U and the V are all here shown, okay? This is very, very equivalent to actually putting them between square brackets. So this is, again, we're going to search. Remember, this is not going to search for words that use ZV. It's going to search for any word that contains the letter U or Z or V, and you get the exact same results. So this is what we mean by piping. We simply can search for multiple patterns inside your text file. Now, grouping is simply when you use the piping with other options. So I'm going to go here and show you some examples of how can we do grouping. Number one, I do have 4 examples here I'm going to demonstrate, and I'm going to come here and do the following. Very simple. Now, the word that I'm going to be searching doesn't exist in my file, but I'm just going to go with it. Rain. Now, after rain, I can open a square parentheses, and I will say Y or ing. So this is simply going to search for rainy or raining. Of course, I don't have that word in that file, so that's why it's not showing. Let's go ahead and put maybe test. Nope, it's not there yet also. I will say, I have to look at the file itself to be able to find some similarity between words for this to be applied, but I'm just going to go show you the command itself. So that's one option. Let me show you more. I can search for the following. I can say, and I want you to pay attention to this. Well, we'll go with cat, for example. If I put cat between parentheses and I follow that look with 3, that simply means he's going to search for cat, cat, cat with no spaces between them. The 3 words repeated. Of course, that doesn't exist, so nothing is going to be shown on the screen. I can do the following also. Those are just example for grouping. I could come here and say sun day or Saturday, okay, and follow that with the word day. Okay, so this is going to look for the word Sunday or Saturday, but again, I don't have any of them here. One last example here, and in a lot of cases, by the way, if you're going to apply for a job in this field, sometimes they will give you the command and they will ask you about what will be the output, what type of text you think is going to be printed on the screen after the execution of these commands. So it's really, really important to understand those commands one by one to be able to tell what the output is going to look like. So I want you to think about this one. Now, again, the file that I have here will probably not show me this, but what I'm asking here to print all the lines that start with 7 or start with 3 or end with 0. And again, all of that I was able to tell by just simply reading this command. And yet again, the file that we have here doesn't contain any of those. So it's not going to actually work. It's not going to show me anything because we don't have any lines that start with 7 or 3 or end with 0. But you know what? Let's just go ahead and do that. Nano. And I'm going to come in this area here and say 700 is a number. 300 is not a number. It is, oh, you know what? It's 700, no, I'll just keep it here. 0. I'll just start here. Yep. It's a number. Yep. It's a number 700. You know, let me just go ahead and go down here and add a line that everyone says they invented the 0. We want to say they invented all the people. Okay, let's keep it that simple. Control X, save it. And now let's go back to the command. And you will notice here that all the lines that start with 7, all the lines that start with 3, and all the lines that end with 0 were printed on the screen. Okay, so this here will end the lecture of today. Now, what I want to do, let me stop sharing my screen. And let me stop recording.